Right now at 5, local residents show off their filmmaking skills at the Second Sunday Cinema. And we've got an alert day today, dangerous heat in the forecast. We'll have a look at that and the forecast to get you out the door coming up. Plus, small businesses across Oklahoma local.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5 a.m. I'm Chris Warner joining you here in the KOAM studios. And of course, we're streaming live on KOAM and on KOAM Plus on your favorite streaming device. So wherever you're joining us, welcome. It's Monday in the 4 states and it is going to be, unfortunately, a hot day across the area. That's just the way summer is sometimes. We did get some much needed rain. We were starting to see drought conditions build back in last week, and now we're seeing them clear back up thanks to that weekend rain. Let's take a look first outside with our camera on top of the Cornell complex in downtown Joplin, and we're looking pretty good, a little bit on the breezy side, but otherwise not bad. The problem is the temperatures this morning are less than comfortable. Our camera 7th and range line also looking pretty good this morning as well. And as we look at the MoDOT camera 20th and range lines, looking back to the north, got a few cars out there. I noticed a few extra cars on the road today, at least more than usual for this time of day. Here's a look at those heat advisories and excessive heat warnings. So heat advisories for everybody through 8 this evening, and same with these excessive heat warnings in Oklahoma. They run through 8, but the Springfield National Weather Service office has gone ahead and set up another round of heat advisories that'll kick in tomorrow and run through 8 o'clock tomorrow as well. So keep that in mind. Future track really doesn't have anything to show today. It'll be a bit on the breezy side, maybe a passing cloud or two, but look at some of these temperatures as we go into the lower 100s across the area as we head into the afternoon hours. Already fairly warm out there this morning. We're in the upper 70s for most of us. Got some low to mid 70s a little further south and east, but I mean, take a look at these temperatures already pushing close to 80 degrees. As we go through today, it is going to be sunny and it is going to be dangerously hot. That's why we do have the alert day today. Heat index values up to 110, and take a look at those high temperatures too, pushing 100 degrees. And as you saw in the future track, some of you may even make it into the lower 100s. We do have some shower and thunderstorm chances on the way, and that will actually help cool us back a bit. We'll have more details on the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. In today's top stories, just before 8 a.m. Sunday, a serious crash closed I-44 westbound near the Main Street exit. Joplin police say a westbound pickup truck went off the road and struck a rock cliff, overturning violently. Joplin firefighters had to quickly use tools to free the driver from the wreckage. Captain William Davis tells KOAM the driver was the sole occupant and was rushed to an area hospital listed in critical condition. The Joplin Major Crash Team responded to begin investigation of the crash. I-44 traffic was reopened again after 2 hours. And of course, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, all you have to do is download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. All you need to do is search for KOAM News. Well, Joplin native Matt McCauley's film Undefiled was shown during Second Sunday Cinema at the Cornell complex in Joplin. The faith-based film is about a man who's on a baseball team and discovers the team's secret that he has a hard time dealing with and how he navigates that situation.
5, almost 6 years worth of work from beginning to end to get that thing done. And so, yeah, really always neat to have an audience that you don't know and see their reaction to it. The first couple times we showed it back in February, people reacted to things that I didn't think they would react to. You know, really kind of a neat thing.
Other films shown on Sunday include I Broke Out of Prison, a documentary about Ritaia Rogers, and On Angel's Wings by Julie Stoker of Springfield. Well, small businesses across Oklahoma joined together Sunday to participate in the Weekend of Local. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on the statewide event that helps promote local businesses.
Hi. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the Donkey's Den.
Thank you.
The Donkey's Den in Miami is just one of more than 350,000 small businesses in Oklahoma. For owner Kyla Jones, being a local business is important.
As part of the Donkey's Den, it's been my mission so far to incorporate the community as much as I possibly can. I fell in love with Miami a few years ago when I got here, and my love has just continued to grow. I love the people, I love working with the community, I love working with the city, I love working with the chamber, all the different elements together, the different shopkeepers, the different business owners, all together. You'd be amazed at how much all of us work together.
Her store is one of the hundreds across Oklahoma to join in the statewide event Weekend of Local, which emphasizes shopping at small, locally owned businesses.
All of us working together, trying to get people to come in and shop locally, get your feet on the ground, get out and walk, have some fun, entertain yourself, but keeping it local by supporting small businesses and local businesses that really need it the most, especially in these trying times.
She says this is a time when small businesses really need help.
I think right now overall things are just hard for everybody, and that's understandable and that's okay, but that's not where I feel my responsibility is. I feel my responsibility is to stay here and do the best that I can to provide something beautiful for Miami.
According to the Miami, Oklahoma Main Street organization, for every dollar spent at a locally owned business, 67 cents goes back into the community. That's more than if that dollar was spent at a national retailer.
If you shop local, the more you shop local, the more you're actually doing to support your local community.
And the importance of shopping local is not lost on customers. For Dee Jones, a small business owner herself, she says she prefers to shop local as she believes they are the backbone of communities.
It's small businesses that make our country great. And so when you have a small business in your community, a local business, and they're doing a good job, they have done something beautiful for you or providing a service that is, above the standard like Donkey's Den has done, then you want to support them. You want to come out and be a part of that. And so yes, I feel like it is key to every community to support their small businesses that are just right around them.
Reporting in Miami, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Weekend of Local is organized by the Independent Shopkeepers Association in Oklahoma, along with the help of local Main Street organizations and chambers of commerce. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Still to come on the KOAM Morning News, we're going to have some tips and tricks on how you can keep your furry babies safe during the extreme heat. Plus, the Princess of Wales speaks with tennis players and Wimbledon staff at the All England Club. And we've got a very hot day across the area today, an alert day in place for dangerous heat. Of what to expect coming up in that forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, as temperatures continue to steadily rise, animal advocates are warning pet owners about the dangers of increasing heat and sharing some tips to help keep your fur babies safe. Gabby Easterwood has more.
100-degree temperatures and blistering heat are on the way, and dogs like Vinny will need a break. His pet sitter, Paul Flynn, is well aware and has a plan.
You got to keep them out of the sun. There's a lot of trails I know of that are like through the woods. So like on the super hot days, I usually try to find those trails. And
Westminster Animal Management officers hope you follow that advice for pet owners to have a plan and know the signs.
Even just walking your dog, I know it's hard to do because dogs love to be outside. The best thing is keep them indoors in the AC. That's the best thing you can do in situations like this.
Officers recommend dog owners be familiar with the signs of heat stroke, which include excessive panting, vomiting, and sneezing. And also take into consideration your dog's breed, type of fur, and age.
But if you do take them outside, just make sure you have tons of water. We just push water, water, water. We just don't want anyone to dehydrate.
Water, our prepared pet sitter Paul fully equipped with too.
sure, I always just have water with me. I keep a gallon with me, and I have a backpack with a little dispensary for water.
Westminster Animal Management also prepared for if and when a rescue is needed over these high temp days.
Making sure our cars are stocked up with water, tools that we can use, so like we can dampen towels and things in case we have to take a dog out of a car. Just making sure that we have the resources needed to make sure that we could save a dog.
And of course, with this dangerous heat, it is essential to keep your pets and your family, your friends safe out there. And that's why we do have an alert day today, because we're looking at heat index values again close to 110 degrees. We're going to get to all that in the full forecast here in just a moment. A little later on the KOAM Morning News, we're going to see why a new study suggests nearly half of cancer deaths could have been prevented by making lifestyle changes. And as promised, we'll have another look at that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 5:15 and it is Monday. Just in case you needed some reminding on that, we're going to start the future track. Now for today, the only thing it really has to show is a few clouds and the dangerous heat. Most of us are going to cap out at about 100 degrees, but as you can see a little further west, we're looking at highs into the lower 100s out there. Otherwise, it stays relatively clear. And as we go into Tuesday, we're going to see a few more clouds, could see a stray morning shower or two, and we're going to see better chances for more organized thunderstorm activity as we head later into the day Tuesday. Now, unfortunately, in between all of that, we're still going to be hot. And that's why, again, the Springfield National Weather Service office has gone ahead and issued heat advisories that will go into effect again tomorrow through 8 o'clock as well. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the other agencies reissue some of these heat advisories also. But as we head into tomorrow, initially we have some isolated thunderstorm development by late evening. Then we go into the overnight hours and we'll see more organized shower and thunderstorm activity. And this could carry on into our Wednesday morning as well. So as you're getting your morning drive underway, just be aware of those thunderstorm chances out there. And Wednesday, thanks to the rain and the clouds, as you can see, our temperature is a little bit cooler, a little more manageable out there, and we'll still deal with scattered thunderstorms through a good portion of our Wednesday. Now, unfortunately, some of these storms do come with a severe risk, at least a low severe risk out there, where we could see some large hail, maybe some damaging winds. So we're talking strong to low-grade severe storms is what we're expecting as we head into Tuesday. And again, this is more going to be Tuesday night into Wednesday morning for us, and then we'll have those scattered storms for us on our Wednesday as well. Heat advisories across the area through 8 o'clock this evening. Again, on the Springfield side, they'll go back into effect tomorrow through 8 o'clock as well, and excessive heat warnings into parts of northeastern Oklahoma through 8 o'clock this evening as well. Our heat risk, as you can see, major to extreme in some areas out there, but that major over the entire area. However, as we go into Tuesday, we're still looking at the potential for dangerous heat, and you can still see we've got moderate to major out there, but once we go into Wednesday, thanks to the rain, the clouds, we go down to a minor risk. So still toasty, still muggy, but not nearly as bad, and that'll carry on into our Thursday as well. So again, just a quick reminder on some of these heat safety tips, and of course we'll have them on our website as well. Do early morning walks. We were just talking about pet safety. Keep them indoors otherwise. Make sure your kids are staying hydrated with water, Pedialyte pops, or try and keep them inside during peak heating, which is of course in the evening hours. Find shade, drink plenty of water if you have to be outside working, and of course make sure you're checking in on the elderly. Like the children, they're very susceptible to this kind of dangerous heat. Right now, though, it's already pretty toasty. 78 in Joplin. It feels like 80 with that dew point at 72. Humidity is 81%. A very muggy start to the day. Temperatures for most of us into the upper 70s, getting close to 80 degrees, especially the further west you go. And once you factor in the dew point and humidity, we've got those heat index values again into the low 80s, even getting close to the mid 80s up there in Yates Center. It feels like it's 84 degrees at 5:18 in the morning. And that's just that hint as to how hot it's going to be. So again, that's why we do have the alert day today. As we go through the morning, again, sunny skies, maybe a stray cloud or two. Will be in the upper 80s by noon. And as we head through the rest of the afternoon, we're looking at highs around 100 degrees across the area with those sunny skies. And further west, we could still see those temperatures going into the lower 100s. Through the evening, it's slow to cool. We're down to 90 by 10. Overnight lows pushing close to 80 degrees once again. And as we look down the road, again, hot tomorrow, upper 90s for us. And then we'll see those evening thunderstorm chances. And we'll have scattered storms on our Wednesday. We'll hang out in the 80s through at least the first part of the weekend. And as we head into next week, though, we warm up just a bit. And then we do have some isolated shower, maybe even a rumble of thunder chances as we head into next Tuesday and Wednesday. So at least after this round of dangerous heat, our temperatures will get just a bit more manageable next week. That's a check of your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this. Topping Health Watch this morning, there's been a lot of talk about cognitive testing in the aftermath of the presidential debate. The mental fitness of President Joe Biden, who's 81, and his Republican opponent Donald Trump, who's 78, is under the microscope. But what exactly goes into a cognitive test? Who should get one? And can a test help you or a loved one? Brian Abel looks into those questions.
Most people generally have a good idea of their overall health, but when it comes to brain health, many of us are likely in the dark.
We know our heart, we know our blood pressure, we know our kidney function, we know our thyroid. Nobody knows how their brain is functioning at a time in life when they're functioning fine.
And often by the time we notice something is wrong, it's already too late.
These brain diseases that we're talking about with aging, they creep up on you.
Anyone experiencing memory loss or cognitive impairment should seek neuropsychological testing. And Weintraub says when you turn 55, you should probably get a baseline evaluation of your cognitive abilities before symptoms arise. And there are multiple assessment options out there.
It could be from as simple as what year is it to 8-hour batteries and everything in between.
Those assessments
Ready to do some testing today?
use simple tasks to test both verbal and visual memory.
In someone with dementia, they may be able to learn the words, but when you come back half an hour later, they really can't remember almost any of them, and that's when we know something is abnormal.
Most importantly, experts say don't ignore possible symptoms and don't wait.
Don't just think it's normal aging. It might be, let the doctor tell you that, Get in, get evaluated.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
A new study from the American Cancer Society suggests nearly half of adult cancer deaths in the U.S. could be prevented by making lifestyle changes. Researchers also found roughly 40% of new cancer cases among U.S. adults 30 and older could be attributed to preventable risk factors. Smoking was by far the leading risk factor. According to the study, cigarettes contribute to nearly 1 in 5 cancer cases and nearly a third of all cancer deaths. Other key risk factors include excess body weight, excess alcohol consumption, lack of physical activity, and diet. Infections like HPV were also risk factors. In 2019, the 18 preventable risk factors researchers looked at were linked to upwards of 700,000 new cancer cases and more than 262,000 deaths. And kids who live in homes where adults use e-cigarettes are exposed to significantly less nicotine through secondhand aerosols than kids in homes where adults use traditional cigarettes. That's the finding of a new study. It looked at a survey focused on nearly 1,800 kids ages 3 to 11 and determined nicotine levels using blood samples taken from 2017 and 2020. The kids with the most nicotine exposure by far were those who live with people who smoke traditional tobacco products like cigarettes. The researchers say to keep kids completely nicotine-free, people shouldn't smoke or vape around kids at all. A researcher not involved in the study also said adults shouldn't take a chance with a child's health by vaping around them as their lungs are still developing and vulnerable. If you're only as old as you feel, or so the saying goes, an 88-year-old gym enthusiast in Virginia is proving the old age adage is true. After winning bodybuilding competitions into his 70s, he's still pumping iron as he approaches 90. Marty Huddledoff reports.
It is where he feels most at home. Jim Cothran says he comes to the gym 3 times a week. He's 88 years old.
I enjoy it. Some days I do chest, some days I do legs, some days I do shoulders.
Cothran, a UVA grad with his master's in engineering, spent 33 years in the military. He got into weightlifting when he was 37. In his 70s, Jim got interested in bodybuilding after meeting personal trainer Kevin Pleasance.
He asked me, you think I could do that? I said, you can do anything you want to do. So that's how we got started.
Jim competed in bodybuilding competitions for 9 years in his 70s, winning competitions across the region.
He used to get standing ovations. It was amazing. He'd get trophies everywhere we go.
The shows were great, but getting ready for it is hard work.
Now at 88, Jim's bodybuilding career is behind him, but he built a lasting friendship with Kevin, his trainer, who's now also his caregiver. He's one of many inspired by Jim.
You know, it just motivates people. It makes them want to get out and want to come do it themselves. Or I'm being lazy. If Jim can do it, I know I can do it, right?
Jim Cothran credits his longevity to good genes. His mom lived to be 99, but also says eating healthy and staying active is important.
Eating the right stuff and working out and not getting too fat and stuff like this.
And how important is it just to kind of keep moving?
Yeah, you've got to. Otherwise, you just rot.
Now, Cothran is consistent with this training, hitting the gym 3 times a week. That's a look at today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, and we have an alert day in place today, and that is for dangerous heat across the area. Already have heat advisories and excessive heat warnings in place out there as well. We'll have more details on that and that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Right now at 5:30, George Washington Carver celebrates its 81st anniversary with their Carver Day celebration. And we have that alert day in place for the dangerous heat across the area. We'll have a look at that forecast to get you out the door. Plus, Joplin's mayor invited community members to come talk to him one-on-one over a cup of coffee. Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:30 and 45 seconds. If you are one of those folks who wants to keep things exact, I'm Chris Warner, and it is Monday, July the 15th. And of course, we're live on KOAM and streaming on KOAM Plus, so you can take us wherever you may be. Hopefully, you don't take us to strange places, but if you do, so be it. That's where you're watching us, and we welcome you to the morning show. It is a Monday, man. It is Monday, and it feels like Monday. It's already hot outside, and it's going to continue to get hot outside as well. And we'll start with that, shall we? With a look outside first from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. Skies are clear. It looks pretty good. As we've talked before, the cameras, they're deceiving because it's like looking out your window on either a hot day or a cold day. You look outside, and if it's a sunny day, hot or cold, it looks great. The problem is when you open the door and go outside, the temperatures aren't so great, and that's the case already this morning. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline in Joplin, looking back toward the north. Looking good so far. A few folks getting their day underway. We have heat advisories in place across the area through 8 o'clock this evening and excessive heat warnings in parts of northeast Oklahoma through 8 this evening. And the Springfield National Weather Service office, so that would be here and over in here, they've gone ahead and reissued the heat advisory to go into effect again tomorrow and run through 8 o'clock tomorrow as well. And again, I would not be surprised if we see these heat advisories across the area reissued as we go through today, heading into our Tuesday, because it's still going to be very hot. It's going to be that much cooler tomorrow, but still dangerously hot. Today, other than a few passing clouds, the only thing the future track has to tell us is just how hot it's going to be. So most of us looking to cap out at about 100. But as you can see further west, we're going into the lower 100s this afternoon. And by this evening, look at this, 8 o'clock, it's still near 100 degrees possibly. Fredonia, Bartlesville, a very unpleasant day ahead of us for sure. That's why we have our alert day today, because it's going to be very, very hot. It's already very warm this morning. My youngest, Ryan, he noted that with them being out of school, he's been coming up here with me, but he's been good. He's not been running out here telling on people, but he was noting that it was already really hot when we walked out the door this morning. Look at these temperatures, upper 70s for most of us, pushing close to 80 degrees. And again, our highs today about 100 and sunny skies. So those heat index values, though, that's the part that gets you pushing 110 degrees out there today. So again, make sure you're taking precautions. Make sure you're staying safe in the heat. Stay indoors if you can. And of course, we've got a number of heat safety tips on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We will have another look at your forecast, talk about some rain chances and slightly cooler temperatures here in just a few more minutes. In today's top stories, Baxter Springs held the 4th annual face-off at The Forge. The event features competitions and booths from Forged in Fire contestants and other bladesmiths from across the region. The event also had a whole wide array of bladesmithing materials so beginners could get into the art.
It's kind of not a real competition. It's more or less to show people what can be done and what we can do and what it takes to make a knife. We pick on each other through the competition. It's a lot of it's for show, but it's, we take joy and pride in winning.
Food trucks were also available at the event for everyone to enjoy. George Washington Carver celebrates its 81st anniversary Saturday with the Carver Day celebration. Guests could view exhibits from area organizations and have music from 6 different bands and guest speakers as well. The event ended with a special film presentation about Carver.
Well, it's a great thing, you know, that this park has been here for 81 years. It's the first park in the National Park Service dedicated to an African American. So that's quite an achievement, and so we love to celebrate George Washington Carver's life every day, but on this day it's a little extra special.
Celebration also included peanut milk demonstrations. Well, for Joplin residents, the coffee shop is not only a great place to meet up with friends, but also the mayor. Mayor Keenan Cortez sat down at Zinc Coffee this weekend and invited the community members to come talk to him one-on-one. He addressed questions and concerns about city budget, transportation, and current city projects like the Housing Assistance Program. The event was held in hopes of making public officials more accessible to residents. Mayor Cortez says he hopes these conversations can help bridge the gap between the city and community members.
I think it's been far too long that government and the citizens it represents have been separated. This is just my effort and the city's effort to try to close that gap and bring everybody together so we can have constructive conversations about what's happening in our community.
Mayor Cortez says he hopes to hold similar events in the future to better engage with the community. Well, it may be past the 4th of July, but don't tell that to the VFW Post 2590 up in Carthage. Saturday, they celebrated America's independence with bounce houses, ribs, dunk tanks, and to cap it off, a fireworks show at dusk. They also had music from 3 different bands playing during the duration of the celebration. And the 6th annual Independence Celebration took place Sunday in the O-Show. The event had music, hot dogs, and games such as cornhole and disc golf for participants to enjoy all for free.
The fact that we care about community and we really want to connect with the community. We've been feeding the community and been involved with the community for several years, and so it's just it's important to us to be able to serve and just provide some good times with no charge, nothing to worry about, just come and have a good time.
The event capped off with a fireworks show. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The floating city is ending a tax idea it floated to stem the tide of rising tourism. Plus, celebrities attend the lavish wedding of the son of Asia's richest man. We'll have the latest on that. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:37. Topping World Watch, actor and WWE star John Cena is among the celebrities attending the lavish wedding of the son of Asia's richest man. Cena, along with global tycoons and politicians, arrived in Mumbai Friday for the wedding of Anand Ambani and his longtime girlfriend, Radhika Merchant. Ambani is the youngest son of Mukesh Ambani, owner of the massive conglomerate Reliance Industries, and who Forbes lists as having a net worth of $116 billion. Pre-wedding events featured performances by stars Rihanna and Justin Bieber. The guest list also reportedly included Drake and David Beckham and former British Prime Ministers Boris Johnson and Tony Blair. Well, the Princess of Wales and her daughter Charlotte speak with the tennis players and Wimbledon staff at the All England Club. Princess arriving for the Wimbledon men's final. The pair greeting people, including 2021 U.S. Open champion Emma Raducanu, and she and her 9-year-old daughter arriving at the site of the grass court Grand Slam tournament in a motorcade. They're expected to sit in the royal box at the center court to watch the match between Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz. The princess has been the patron of the club that hosts the annual tournament since 2016. The floating city is ending a tax idea it floated to stem the tide of rising tourism, at least for now. Venice, Italy, known for its seemingly floating buildings, canals, gondolas, gondoliers, and tourists that love them all, is ceasing a trial run on a tourist tax Venice has been charging day tripper tourists €5 a day for visiting certain days, and tourists have to show they paid when asked. The aim was to slow down day-only tourist visits. Critics claim it didn't work because more tourists kept coming. Israel is bombarding Gaza City in an offensive residents described as comparable to the fiercest battle of the war. Correspondent Alex Hogan has more from London.
Israeli forces now pulling back from Gaza City after staging a major offensive there. Palestinian officials say there's been a significant loss of life over the past few days in an area the Israeli military said months ago was cleared of Hamas fighters. Anxious residents now returning home to little more than rubble.
They spared nothing, even trees. There was a lot of greenery in this area. What is the guilt of the civilian? Who are you fighting?
The uptick in fighting putting more pressure on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He was even heckled during a military graduation ceremony on Thursday. A growing Israeli opposition movement is accusing Netanyahu of failing to prioritize the return of hostages. But the prime minister says Hamas added demands to the ceasefire agreement that he could not accept.
I am committed to the outline for the release of our hostages, but the Hamas murderers still continue to adhere to demands that contradict the outline and endanger Israel's security.
Hamas says that's not true. The framework of the ceasefire remains largely unchanged, leading to a new rebuke from President Biden, who claims the Israeli government is not being realistic.
I support Israel, but this war cabinet is one of the most conservative war cabinets in the history of Israel. And there's no ultimate answer other than a two-state solution here.
President Biden's special envoy to the Middle East met with the prime minister earlier this week, but the latest round of ceasefire negotiations ended with no agreement.
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:45. Coming up on 5:46 on this Monday morning, and we are starting with the future track. Now for today, the only thing it's really going to show us is we're going to have some gusty winds pushing about 20-25 miles an hour out of the south-southwest. The other thing it's going to show us a couple of clouds and then the dangerous heat. So on average, we're looking at highs of about 100 degrees, but the further west you go, as you can see, we're going into the lower 100s out there. As we end the evening, look at this, even at 10 o'clock, still an uncomfortable temperature as we hang out in the upper 80s and low 90s. Now for our Tuesday, we are looking at the possibility of a couple of stray showers, maybe a rumble of thunder in the morning, but these are going to be relatively isolated initially. Our best chances for actual meaningful rainfall will come overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. So the problem with that, though, is it's still going to get dangerously hot for us on our Tuesday out there. So you need to make sure you're still taking precautions as we go back into the upper 90s, maybe even a couple of 100-degree readings. An isolated storm or two initially, and then we have this pause until we get into the overnight, and we have a complex of thunderstorms start to develop and roll in from the west, and these will continue overnight, say after about 11 o'clock midnight, and by the time we get our Wednesday underway, we're still going to be dealing with these thunderstorms. Now, some of these storms could be strong, low-grade severe with some gusty winds and perhaps some large hail, so it's something we will keep a close eye on, but just be aware you're going to start your day a bit soggy. Then we're going to start to see these storms be a little more scattered as we get on the backside of this system, but still, nonetheless, a few isolated to widely scattered showers and storms possible later in the day on Wednesday. The nice thing, though, about the rain and the cloud cover is it will keep our temperatures a little more manageable for our Wednesday and even into our Thursday. So, again, Wednesday we do already have, or sorry, Tuesday rather, we have this low risk for strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms across most of the area. But again, this is going to mainly be for Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. But some of the pop-up storms we see earlier in the day could be a little bit on the strong side as well. So just do keep that in mind. We have heat advisories across the entire area today and excessive heat warnings in the northeastern Oklahoma. And then for the Springfield National Weather Service office coverage area, which is right in through here, they've gone ahead and reissued these heat advisories. So when they wrap up at 8 this evening, they'll go back into effect tomorrow through 8 o'clock again tomorrow evening. And I would not be surprised that that becomes the case with the other heat advisories we have out there. Our heat risk risk today is major, with even some extreme sprinkled in there, and it will continue into our Tuesday. Slight improvements thanks to some of the clouds, some of the pop-up storms, but nonetheless still moderate to major heat impacts across the area. Then as we go into our Wednesday and into our Thursday, take a look at that. We go down to minor, and up north they're actually in the little to no risk zone. So this rain and cloud cover will help us out a bit. And don't forget, we have a number of heat safety tips on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Right now in Joplin, already warm, 78, clear skies, 80 is what it feels like. Dew point 72, humidity is 81%. Around the area, temperatures again uncomfortably warm already, upper 70s for most of us, getting close to 80 degrees. And once you factor in the dew point and humidity, we've got heat index values into southeast Kansas into the low 80s and stretching down into northeastern Oklahoma. So again, a very uncomfortable start to the day already. Sunny skies through the morning, pushing close to 90 by 11 o'clock this morning. And we are looking at highs today right around 100 degrees out there with those sunny skies. So that's why we have an alert day today. Upper 90s tomorrow. Then we'll fall back into the 80s with those scattered storms Wednesday. We'll see a few more scattered showers by next week. That's checking your forecast. We're back with more right after this. Well, some California high school students have developed an invention to help firefighters. The team from Calistoga High School was just awarded a grant from MIT for the creation of a smart device which can help keep firefighters cool on the job. Cornell Bernard spoke with the innovative students and their teacher.
This is the device that we made for firefighters.
This is not a Silicon Valley tech firm. It's a classroom at Calistoga High School where these intrepid students are breaking barriers of innovation.
In addition, we have fire-resistant material on the outside.
Science and technology students have spent 6 months developing this device designed to keep firefighters cool on the job.
It's portable. It's essentially a backpack.
This working prototype pumps cool water through tubes to the forehead of a firefighter and uses smart technology and LED lights to regulate your body's temperature.
These LEDs will go off once your human body or ambient temperature has reached a certain threshold.
How does it feel?
It feels good. The cool pack is definitely cool on the forehead.
The idea born from years of watching devastating wildfires in Napa County, a chance for students to give back to their community.
Our town would have burnt to the ground if we wouldn't have had the firefighters saving us, you know, and they're out there risking their lives.
All right, so we're going to invite the Calistoga team on down.
The Calistoga High Invent team recently got the attention of MIT, where they won a grant for their invention and assistance from Microsoft to patent the device.
We are patent pending from Microsoft helping us.
MIT's whole thing is that they want you to invent for helping other people.
The students now taking their idea a step forward by collaborating with the Calistoga Fire Department on how the invention could be used, especially during a real-life fire.
Our gear as it is already hot. It's been an early start to the fire season, so a product like that would be a massive benefit to us out in these fires.
The invention has other applications like keeping agricultural workers cool on the job and warm in winter months.
There's nothing stopping us from getting this out in the shelves.
One day the device could be available to all, but for now this class has a very proud teacher.
They are so amazing. I would cry if I wasn't on TV right now. They're just incredible. They work so hard.
Well, certainly an incredible project and something that I have no doubt will be very beneficial to firefighters. We'll be right back. Well, deli owner celebrates a boy making the honor roll in the now viral clip store owner Wael Aswali shared on social media. You can see the young boy running into the business with his report card and honor roll certificate in hand to tell Aswali. Aswali says he continued to encourage the 12-year-old to do better in school and promised him if he could get whatever he wants once he made it to the honor roll. And he did. Swelly says he is continuing this trend with other children in his neighborhood. Is it hot enough for you out there? Well, Burger King wants to put some climate change heat in your tummy. Burger King wants you to be burning down the house and let you swallow some food fire as you swelter this summer. BK's coming out with a fiery menu as of July 18th. You can start with the fiery bacon Whopper or the fiery Royal Crispy Chicken Sandwich. Throw in fiery chicken fries marinated with spicy seasoning or fiery mozzarella fries. Then cool it back down with more spice, a fiery strawberry and Sprite drink. BK is also testing some flame-grilled chicken sandwiches and wraps in a few markets. The fiery menu is for a limited time only, something I hope they might bring back for the wintertime when you really do need to feel a bit fiery out there, because it's already going to be hot enough for us today. As we get our day started across the area, we are looking at sunny skies through the morning, pushing close to 90 by 11. And again, we have an alert day today for the dangerous heat out there, as our highs on average about 100 degrees. Some of you may be a little hotter than that, into the lower 100s, a little further west. Heat index values pushing 110, and we'll have a south-southwest breeze occasionally gusting upwards of 20-25 miles an hour. Hot through the evening as well, still 90 by 10. Overnight lows close to 80 degrees out there with those clear skies. Then could see a few pop-up storms for our Tuesday, and then we'll have better storm chances late Tuesday night into Wednesday, and some of those could be strong, low-grade severe with some small hail, maybe some gusty winds Tuesday. Again, still dangerously hot though, upper 90s. Then, thanks to the clouds and the rain, we cool back down into the mid-80s, and we'll hang on to the 80s into the weekend. A few low 90s Sunday and Monday, more rain chances Tuesday and Wednesday. That's Check Your Forecast. We've got a whole nother hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.